Hey guys, Kim from Oz Tuning, and we are here for episode 1 of Project Delta Ranger. And today we're going to be installing the Roush Performance Cold Air Intake Kit for the 2019 and newer Ford Rangers. Along with that, we'll also be installing this aFe Power Intake Scoop as well. This is a very basic install. Pretty much anybody can handle this in their home garage with a few basic hand tools. Install time should take you, roughly 15 to 30 minutes or so. It's very, very simple. So what exactly do we got here? Well, the intake is designed to improve performance, and the way that it does that is by removing restriction on the inlet of the turbo. You see we've got much larger diameter intake pipes, a much more freer flowing air filter, and all of that combined is going to reduce the restriction on the inlet of the turbo. Whenever we can reduce restriction on the inlet side of a pumping device, that improves efficiency. So improved efficiency means what? It means that we can make the same power or add less boost, depending upon the reduction of efficiency, but also means that at the same boost level, we should see a reduction in outlet temperature or charge outlet temperatures. So, as we know, with any sort of a forced induction setup, heat is the #1 enemy. So we're trying to reduce heat as much as we possibly can. So this is just one of the pieces of the puzzle to help us do that. So in our setup, because we're going to be installing the larger pure stage 2 turbo, it's going to be even more paramount for us to have an inlet design like this, because that turbo definitely is going to be able to overcome the flow of the stock intake setup. So this Roush setup is perfect and ideal for that. Also, this Roush intake is 50 state legal, it's CARB approved, it comes with an EO number as well. So this can be installed anywhere in the United States with no issues whatsoever. So we're going to get started on the install. We'll walk you through the process here, give you a couple of pointers, and then show you the results afterwards, all right? All right guys, to make things simple, we're actually going to do a little bit of pre-install work, or pre-fitting some of the parts, so that way when we go to install them on the truck, everything just kind of drops in and it's a really smooth, easy install. So first things first, we've got some foam padding that goes on the inside of the inlet filter box. So I always like to clean any parts that we're going to be using an adhesive. I like to clean it with either, this is just basic rubbing alcohol, or you could use some grease and oil remover or something like that. Basically, you just want to prep the surface, get it nice and clean so you get really good adhesion of the adhesive when you go to install this. All right guys, now that we've got everything nice and clean, we let it dry well, and then we're going to start installing our foam tape here. And the foam tape just simply installs, typically just start at one edge and work your way around slowly. These are all finger tight, and we'll go back and just torque them up slightly. Now we've got the filter box lid assembled, we're going to go ahead and install the filter. That just slides right over that tubing there. Supply hose clamp will just tighten down after you've got it installed. Now there's no need to over torque these hose clamps. This is suction side, so there's no risk or any chance of these couplers getting blown loose or anything like that. It's just snugging it up so the filter stays secure. So now we finished our pre-assembly, we're going to head over to the truck and start doing the disassembly of the stock parts. All right guys, we're on the truck right now, so we're going to start the disassembly. We're going to be working in this general area here. This is all the inlet side of the turbo itself. This is the air box, the air filter, and everything sits below that. So we'll get started with here. So first step guys, we're going to disconnect the intake air temperature sensor. We've already undone the clips here that hold the filter lid on top. You'll also need to loosen this hose clamp here, 7mm. We'll go ahead and loosen that for you. So once you've got that nice and loose, there's some tabs that locate the air lid box here inside of the filter box. So you're going to actually lift up on this side and then work those tabs out. Be careful of the overflow hose that comes off of the degas bottle there, and then this should pop right out, just like that. You see we've got the stock panel filter here, so we'll go ahead and remove that as well. We won't be reusing it, so we'll go ahead and set those off to the side. All right guys, while we're in here, we're gonna go ahead and get the inlet scoop that feeds the airbox. We're gonna go ahead and pull the stock one off and we're gonna replace it with the aFe. We'll show you the difference between the two as well. So just got a couple fed bits here to take off. Remove those guys. We'll just set them off here to the side because we're gonna reuse them. And then the inlet goes right inside of the filter box there. So if you just kind of wiggle and pop that guy out, he comes right out just like that. Now, we're going to be replacing it with this much larger version of this scoop from aFe Power. So you can see, comparison of the two, this is definitely wider, larger, altogether bigger. They both neck down to about the same diameter here, but anytime we can get a little bit more air into our inlet, that's always a good thing. So I'm not going to see huge performance gains from this, of course, but cumulative effect when you add everything together, the intake, the larger turbo, etc. They all kind of complement each other, and at the end of the day, that's the idea, right? So install is exactly reverse of removal of the stock inlet tube. So we just kind of work it into the hole that's down here, wiggle that guy in until he pops in just like that, and then it'll bolt right in here using the same factory Torx head bolts. Done deal. All right. Moving on. Next, we're going to have to take off the turbo inlet tube as well. So you see there's a couple of different connections connected to this that we're going to actually need to remove. Starting with this PCB line. It feeds all the way over from the intake manifold. So simply push those clips down, slide that out, and he'll disconnect just like that. So we've already loosened this hose clamp here at the bottom. That's again a 7mm. That'll take that loose for you right off, and then just kind of twist and wiggle, and this guy should come right off. You'll see that we've also got the hose clamp here for one of the coolant lines, so we'll need to pop that guy off as well. Let's take a look at the comparison between the two. Pretty substantial difference there. So let's get this guy in. Installation is reverse from disassembly. So just slide this guy on. A little bit of wiggling back and forth. You should just pop one there. We're gonna go ahead and get the filter lid installed as well. Again, be careful of your coolant line in the back. Three clips in the rear will secure the filter lid, and silicone tube should just slide right on. Super important, you don't want to tighten down any of these hose clamps until you've got everything fitted up. Once everything's fitted up, then you can go ahead and tighten down your hose clamps. One more thing we need to transfer over, that's that air temperature sensor that comes off the stock inlet tube. So we just remove the stock temperature sensor here, and he gets installed right there. Slides in, and about 1/8 of a turn clockwise should lock it into place. We're going to go ahead and plug in the air temp sensor here. This clips right in, and now we're going to go back and snug up all of our hose clamps. Again, this is suction side, so these do not have to be overly tight. All you want to do is just snug them up, and we're just preventing that the hose could come loose under normal engine movement, the engine rocking back and forth under load, for example. So don't go crazy, just snug it up so it's held in place. And repeat the process with our bottom hose clamp. Last but not least, reinstall the PCB line. That just clicks right into place. And there we go, we're all set.